When someone tells you we'll build a castle from scratch, well, of course it's surreal.
Guédelon is well known thanks to word of mouth. It's thanks to the visitors who came away saying, "I've seen this band of crazy folk in the forest who are building a castle." That's how our story spread.
It's a building site from another century. In the north of Burgundy, these history enthusiasts have set themselves a unique challenge. For 20 years, they've been constructing a castle using 13th century building techniques. That means no modern machinery or equipment. Today, this lumberjack is hard at work, splitting a 200-kilo log in the old-fashioned way.
The tools are rudimentary: a hatchet, a hammer, and a series of small wooden wedges, which are made from hornbeam and hollywood.
Jean-Michel is reviving techniques used around 8 centuries ago. Wooden wedges, which are more effective than metal, cost much less in the Middle Ages.
What's the point of splitting it rather than sawing it? Well, let's just say it's twice as easy to split in half than to cut in half with a saw.
After 30 minutes of hammering and prising, the trunk finally splits down the middle, delighting the crowd. Tourists have flocked to Guédelon from day one to see the castle rise from the ground. 300,000 visitors come each year, and their donations have funded the project. But back in 1996, when the first foundations were laid, there was nothing here.
We had to find an empty space, an abandoned quarry, then the stone, sand, earth for the tiles, and so on. We needed timber, and it was all around us in these surrounding woods. So we chose a site in the Guédelon forest, hence the name Guédelon.
Of course, there can be no castle without stone. This pair of quarry workers extract over 2 tons each day between them. A total of 70 different craftsmen work on site and have given themselves another 10 years to finish the castle.
I'm making a nail for the doors and locks. The actual structure of the castle is made of wooden joints held together with wooden pegs, but the nails are used afterwards on site as well. It would be good if you two were up there. You give us the all clear and we'll winch up the step.
This afternoon's main event is taking place over at the castle's main tower. The stonemasons are preparing to lay the final step of the keep's spiral staircase.
OK, take off the brakes. Tony, walk.
Firstly, the step has to be hoisted to the top of the tower using this squirrel cage, a type of crane that dates back to ancient times.
And there we have 200 kilos gently being pulled up.
The only source of energy here is muscle power.
It's a step that's really important. We've been working on this staircase for 2 seasons now, and this step is the finishing touch to the 60 others we've already got in place, 14 meters above the ground. It's a stone that we can't carry ourselves, so we're using a technique that was used in medieval times, and even before that in ancient Egypt. Just like an artist, the stonemason is always looking for perfection. And if we manage to put the stone in place up there with a minimum of time and effort, then that's perfect.
Shovelfuls of mortar are laid down to set the stone in place. A mixture of sand and lime, it's a replica of the cement used in the Middle Ages. Half an hour after the whole operation began, the step is finally in place, where it will hopefully stay for centuries.
Building for us is a way of understanding. It means we're giving a second life to our heritage by being able to appreciate it, not as a cinema set, but as the result of our expertise. And today's know-how is a pot of gold for generations to come. Because building in this way and using materials like earth and sand allows us to construct houses that, in terms of energy, cost 1,000 times less than any building using steel. So that's the important lesson, and the 21st century is all about that reflection.
People will visit the castle and say, have you seen? They've done all this. They've put up all the framework, they've painted the murals, they've erected all the arches. But people spend more time watching our craftsmen than they do admiring the castle. The castle is really just the result and not the hero of the project.
The Guédelon craftsmen have also built a replica 12th century flour mill close by, demonstrating that their ambitious project can be completed.
It's finally running on its own. It's almost an automatic machine.
We've reconstructed this mill. We make the flour and the baker makes the bread. It's amazing, it's fantastic. Through living in Guédelon, I realised that there's a sound. There's something here, a way of working together which is just like an orchestra playing. And it sounds good. It's right. We've played in tune and it works.